Good morning, everybody. Pastor Stitch, Narrow Path Christian Church, BC, Bay City, Michigan. Welcome to the Biker Devotional. So, first thing, heads up for tomorrow, I will probably be later than normal. At least I have the day off, so I have an opportunity to sleep in. So, I may take that. So, there's that heads up. But today, we're working on the 22nd of December and reading in Proverbs 22. I read this verse. The rich rule over the poor, and the say that one right, especially with no teeth. Ask me someday why I don't have teeth. I'll explain it. There's a good reason, and yes, I have dentures. They don't fit, and there's a good reason why they don't fit, and I can't wear them. But that's another story altogether. Let's see if I can read this again correctly. The rich rule over the poor, and a borrower is slave to the lender. So many times when we read things like this, we want to then take this statement that Solomon gives his son and say the rich people are evil because they rule over the poor, and the lenders are evil because they make the borrowers slaves. Well, here's the truth for you, whether you like it or not. There will always be rich and there will always be poor. You know how I know that? Because Jesus told us so, right? So the reality is the rich rule over the poor because the poor need what the rich can provide. And so they have leverage. And it's not necessarily right or wrong, it just is. It also says, Solomon says, that a borrower is slave to a lender. Remember, Solomon was a king, and he was talking to a son who was going to become a king. And he's saying, son, if you borrow from another nation, you're going to be enslaved by them. They have control over you. Now, this is true in your personal life, but it's also true in your government life. And so we need to be really, truly aware of this. I know people who will buy a car, for example, and they will drive it, but they won't take care of it well. Because, for whatever reason, they got into a car that their monthly payment was more than they can technically afford. And so they don't have the money to maintain it correctly. And so before they're done paying it off, they run it into the ground. Or maybe their credit's bad, and so they buy a car and buy it at a price that's much higher than what they should have, and their payment is too high, and they can't pay it off before it dies. You know, these things happen. We get it. I've been there. Really have. But the reality is, if that car dies, I still got to keep making those payments. And I have to have transportation. So I got to do the next thing. And I know people that are paying on 2, maybe 3 cars that are broke down, that had to be scrapped, whatever. And they're still making payments on those cars and trying to figure out how to get another car. Tell me you're not slave to the lender. Because you are. You're trapped. You're trapped in an endless cycle. It would always be better to have a vehicle that you don't owe anybody on, that costs you $1,000 a month in repairs, than it would be to pay $1,000 a month for vehicle payments and then have to handle all the maintenance and repairs on it, right? So while it sounds stupid, Solomon's wisdom is absolute. The rich will rule over the poor. It's a statement of fact. Not only that, but the borrower is always going to be slave to the lender. There's another part in Proverbs where Solomon tells his son, don't get yourself into that trap. Do whatever it takes to get out of it. And so today, especially this time of year, you need to remember that. Now, I realize I'm probably way late in this message, and you may have already done things to put yourself in danger. But you've got time over the next year to do whatever it takes to get that debt paid off. Yeah, I get it. I'm hearing you scream because I've been screaming the same words for years. It's not possible. But the reality is, it can be done. It just means it takes diligent, hard work, putting no sleep, no slumber, getting at it, and getting it done. Don't tell me you can't work that many hours. Don't tell me, yes, it's hard. It's miserable. I know. But it can be done. And if you press in to do what you need to do, you take good counsel. Several months ago, my wife and I were talking about taking out a loan to buy a new Tri-Glide. And I went and sought counsel. And my counsel said, you can't have a loan. They were right. I can't have a loan. I need to not be slave to my lender. So I don't have a Tri-Glide. But God worked it out. So we had the outrigger from Voyager that we could get at a price we could afford to put on the Electroglide so that my wife would feel stable on it. And coming soon, we may have the money to be able to buy a Tri-Glide. The importance is making sure you do things with wisdom, not compulsion, and not just want. Solomon wasn't saying the rich were evil, and he wasn't saying that the lender was evil. What he was saying is the rich, they're in a position the poor can't be in. And a person that borrows money doesn't have a choice but to be a slave until they get it paid off. I hope I helped someone today. I love you all. I hope you have a great day. God bless.